Okay, so we are continuing our coverage, live coverage, of the QuadA Vision Conference down here in Washington, D.C., or up here, depending on where you are. And I'm glad to have a longtime friend, Jamie Hopkins, who's the president of the FinServ Foundation. Jamie, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on again. And yeah, QuadA and the Vision Conference, amazing start so far. Excited to be here. And we have, we'll get into it, but 20 young professionals that are college students in the FinServ program here today. And so QuadA has been a great partner with us over the years, and excited to have our young professionals down here.
That's fantastic. So this is actually our first time covering QuadA for goRIA, fueled of course by InvestmentNews. I saw that you were down here. We gave you a quick text, and here we are.
Yeah, it was a quick journey from the conference hall over to find you. It was a lot smoother than sometimes where I can't find where I'm going.
Exactly. It's like Charleston all over again. This whole inside joke, of course.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm familiar with FinServ, of course, but for folks that are not or not deeply familiar with it, tell us about it. What exactly are you looking to accomplish with that?
Yes, I'll give people a little bit of the history. It's definitely a growing organization. So we started FinServ back in 2018, so I was one of the founding members. In 2018, though, it was really just 5 universities. It wasn't formalized in any structural way. It was just, University of Illinois, Texas Tech, Georgia, Kansas State, and I think I missed somebody there, but Creighton University. So that was just kind of the 5 of us talking about how do we help our students bridge from the university world and these CFP programs to the professional world, because we just kept seeing dropout in between. Everybody knows those numbers, right? The Cerulli number is almost 80% dropout, the 5-year mark. And that's what we were seeing too, and we wanted to build more of a bridge. And so that's where FinServ got its start. Since then, though, it became a 501c3 organization in 2020. I had more time on my hands, so went down that route, actually got it registered, and now we actually partner with 42 different colleges and universities across the country, and we just hit our 700th FinServ Fellowship delivered out. And so that's really what we do. It's called a fellowship program. It's a 2-year program to help really bridge students from their CFP university programs into our industry. So we do 3 pillars inside of there: coaching, mentorship, and access. And so those are evidence-based research areas of what creates a successful professional, right? Coaching, mentorship, access. Ours is a little different than the research. Access is typically, are you born into a wealthy family, you've got access, you do well. But in ours, we've tried to build a community, which is why we're here at QuadA. We take all the student fellows out to an industry conference. We cover every cost, flights, hotels, Ubers, to get them to this experience earlier in their career so they can see they belong. 6 months of mentorship. We have about 400 industry mentors now that give back time, volunteer, and spend 6 months working through a program with the fellows, and then 2 years of group-based coaching. We cover a lot of stuff we talk about, even things like how to read an ADV, advisor compensation, networking, sales. And sales is a good thing. They need to know how to do this. And we don't see that at the university level. So all those things I just mentioned, they're not taught in a single CFP program, and that's by design. And so we've tried to figure out those things they need to be successful in their first couple years.
I love that. So there's a lot to unpack just right there. So the first thing that comes to mind is sales is a good thing.
Yeah.
Sales of bad things is bad. Sales of good things is good.
Yeah.
Why can't we make that distinction?
Yeah, well, I've got a longer thing here. I think part of what happened, though, was at the university level, because I've taught now 3 different universities, there's not a lot of sales training at the university level. Right. Sales doesn't equate to a research methodology very well either. You can talk about maybe things that worked, but a lot of it's behavioral, it's relationship, it's how do you connect with people, it's the soft skills. Universities aren't great at that. We're better at hard skill, numbers, data, textbooks. And so it's kind of fallen out of favor in business schools. So when you think going back 20, 30 years now, we don't get a lot of that, and it's very much, in my opinion, disappeared in our industry. And so then when people see sales today, it's more in the insurance world, it's more in the product world, right? In the car world, right? You're still selling a product, whereas services kind of feel like something that you should go sign up for. Right. And I think that disconnect has been really bad, actually. And I think our younger professionals need to see the positive side of sales. Selling good, helpful things to your clients is a good thing. That knowing the holistic offering you have is a great thing. But sales can be different than what people think in their mind, they see in TV, right? I threw out the car thing because that's what people always bring up.
Right.
that's like what, probably 0.1% of all sales that occur in the world are car sales. That's
Right.
not the way most people sell. Most people sell by building relationships, communities, showing the value and solving a problem that somebody has.
I think that's so important. And again, if sales were relegated just to those that are selling products, oftentimes the expensive products,
Yeah.
oftentimes the products that people don't really need to have
Yeah.
other than putting commissions into their brokers' pockets, that part is bad. But selling is communicating, right? And if you're communicating the importance of advice over product sales, you should be selling that all day long. I don't care what you want to call it, it is ultimately sales.
Yeah.
One thing I'll add to this, so I'm on college tour cycle, right? So I've got
Yeah.
a senior in high school
Yep.
and a junior high school. Some good news here. The colleges that we're looking at, so my son's looking to go some sort of business track, all of them have some kind of sales component at this
Yeah.
point. So they are bringing that back in, and I think they too are finally recognizing sales of good things is not bad.
Yeah, there are some business schools that do have sales in
Yeah.
them. Almost no financial planning programs are in the business schools. It's a very weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the Texas Tech one's not. The University of Illinois is actually in the agriculture school. So you don't get that sales component coming into it. But yeah, some business schools, I think the good ones, but I think even to your point, I think some of them have come back from employer demand in the last 5 years too.
Right, absolutely. It's a very useful skill. Right?
Yeah.
You can be the best player in the world. If no one knows about
Yeah.
you, then it's not going to work. Okay, in the couple minutes we have left here, talk a little bit more, if you would, about how you guys are working specifically with QuadA. I love hearing that you have 20 students here. According to Cerulli, I am the poster child or adult of what, you know where I'm
Yeah,
getting at
yeah,
with this,
yeah.
of what the advisor looks like. Literally, a 56-year-old male, that's me. I am the average advisor today. So we need someone behind
Yeah.
us, and we're glad to see you've brought 20 of those people with us today. Tell us how that works with QuadA.
Yeah, so with QuadA and most of the events we try to go to, we try to find good communities to showcase these students what the industry could look like. Because there's some events that are actually great events, but are not great events for a 22-year-old to experience as their first event, right? It might just be too high level. So we just did FPA Gathering 2, which is that first 5-year one, great event. We went to Wealth Management Edge, great event. Invest in Women this year, great event. But QuadA also really does well working with the HBCUs, showing a different community that if you walk into some of the other events, right, like you don't see black women advisors filling up entire rooms at certain
Right.
events. So our young, really the student population at the university level is not a 56-year-old male, right? It's
Right.
a much more diverse population that needs to see they have pathways in the industry and different ways to go, that it's not all the exact same. Like if you go into a wirehouse training thing, you know this, right? There's a training and you do have a group and that's good, but it doesn't always show you the pathway for everybody. So we try to work with a bunch of different conferences a year and organizations. QuadA is a great organization, great mission, and shows a pathway that is different than some of the other conferences and different communities than we show at other conferences. So they help us bring us, and then FinServ covers all the costs. So we cover hotels and flights and trains or however
Nice.
they get here, because 21-year-olds and 22-year-olds often don't have $1,500 to get to a conference, and they might not for 5-6 years. Probably a lot of the people listening here are like, well, yeah, I probably didn't go to my first conference till I was 8 years in. And at that point, so many people drop out. So we want to show them that community, that broader thinking as early as possible to show that they have a place in this world. And that's a huge kudos to QuadA.
Absolutely. Well, I love that, and we'll put a pin on it with that here today. Jamie Hopkins, FinServ Foundation, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. All right, so we have a little bit more coverage left to go, so stay tuned. I'll be back in another 35, 40 minutes with some more content here at QuadA in Washington, D.C. Jamie, thanks again.